So guys, now we are going to learn some SQL queries or the SQL commands in this video. As you can see, I have connected to my local MySQL server, and I will explain the interface over here to get a much better feeling of understanding. And you can click on this file, you can create a new model, or you can define your own database and the set of rules, and you can open a new query tab. It's the same like this executable text editor, and you can also open this open SQL script. If you have any SQL commands written in script, you can open that in the using this open SQL script, and you can also open recent, and you can also run SQL script, and you can also close the tabs and save scripts. So these are used for this opening and closing the scripts, and you can choose the preferences if you want to, and you can view the home panels and the next main tab, previous main tab, etc. And in this query you can select the statements you want to execute, either current statement or all of the statements. So you can, if you want to open another connection, you can connect to the another database which is on another computer or any other port. So in this server status you can see this one. You can click on this administration. The same settings you will see under this server options, and the tools, you can configuration tools, you can back up the connections and restore those connections. So you can also use this scripting shell. You can execute the PLSQL commands here, and we are not going to execute any scripts now. Now what you want to do is click on these schemas. So these schemas are like metadata for this database. It defines what columns are there, what tables are there, and etc. So these are the three databases that are provided inbuilt with MySQL. I thought to use the PowerPoint presentation to display this MySQL basics, but I thought it would take so much time because this MySQL is very long, and also making PPT is, I'm tired of making PPTs. But anyway, I will explain from basics this SQL statements. As you can see, there are three databases here, Sakila and sys and the world. Sys is the main database used by this SQL, and you can see these two are the sample databases, Sakila and the world. If you click on this arrow mark, you can see the word database has been expanded, and this in word database you have the tables, views, stored procedures, and functions. So these procedures or functions are to automate this SQL statements. You can just call these functions and they will execute. And you can also click on these tables, and in these tables we will have the information in the rows and columns. These columns contains the actual data, and the rows contains the values. And if you click on this city, you can see here the information it's telling you. So in this city table, I have the schema as name, country code, district, population. So that means in this city table I have some names, country codes, district, and population table. In the same way, if I click on this country, I have the name, continent, region, surface area, and there is so much information about this. So I want to display this data. So how do you do this is, first you need to say use a word. Let's say world. So I am this MySQL is case insensitive. That means capital use and small use and capital use both are same. You can use either one, but many developers use the capital letters for the SQL syntax commands like use, select, and so on. So first we need to use this word. If I run this, I need to click on this thunder icon to run this statement, and you can see here this is the log. You can see the output. We have executed this use word. And you can, if you go right over here, you can see this is the left panel. This is blue color indicating left side. If you click on this, this will go off, and if you click on again, it will be displayed the schemas pane. If you click on this down, you can see the output. If I click on this, now it will vanish. Now if I click on this, it will reappear. Now in the same way, right, there is another right window. You can add SQL additions. We don't want that for now. I am clicking this to disappear that. So first we have learned this use world. So this database will be used as a main database. It's like this SQL contains a pointer pointing to this world. Any operations we will reflect in this database. So first command we are going to learn is select command. This is very important, and what we want to do is we want to select star in the sense all the columns, and we need to say from. You want to select the tables you want to display from. Let's say city. And like in C++ programming languages, every line ends with semicolon. In the same way, in a SQL you can end with semicolon, but in the modern SQL syntaxes, even though if you do not put semicolon, this SQL commands gets executed, but it's best practice to put the semicolon. Now if I click on this thunder icon, I can close this output using this. We don't want output, we don't want logs, we want only this output. If I expand this, you can see the whole information about this CT table. In this CT table I have the ID column, name column, country code, district, population. This top heading is called columns. You can see this is the column, and this is column, this is column, this is column, and this is column. And in the ID column I have the values 1 2 3 4 etc. In the name I have the values Kabul, Kandar, etc. Country code, district, population as well. So this is called one row, and this is called one row. The horizontal values are called rows, and the vertical columns are called columns. And I selected star because I want to display all the columns. If I want to display only the ID column, I can say select ID. So if I click on this thunder icon, now I can see there are only the IDs. So let me click on this star and click on this thunder icon. I get the all the values. Now I can just particularly select 2 or 3 columns by separating them with comma. Let's say name, comma, and district. So I think the syntax is correct, right? Okay, now let's. So if I run this, I will get only the columns specified by name and district. So these are the basic databases we have in the MySQL locally. I can also say select star from country. Let me execute this. Okay, there is a lot more information going on. You can see this is a country code, name, continent, region, surface area, and in-depth year, population, etc. As you can see, there is a value called null. So null value represents nothing. It's just like placeholder to say that there is no information about this column and about this row. So suppose if you have some information but you don't know yet, but you want to find out in the future purpose, so in that case you can keep the null value so that other can understand that either the value is unavailable or it's maybe available in the future. So it's like a null placeholder. If you don't know the value, you can put the null here. So these are the base databases available from the MySQL, but we do not want their databases. We are going to create our own sample databases. Let me close this output. To create the database, we need to say create a database and database name. Let's say students. So we are going to create the database called the students. Let me execute this, and you can see there is no students database. What you want to do is you want to click this refresh button to see the changes, and you can see there is a this students database. So this is not highlighted, but the word has the bold color, bold text, because in previous commands we have used the use word query. That's why this word is in the active state. So we need to get the students as an active. We need to say we can delete this create database students, or in SQL you can put 2 hyphens and a space to create a comment. So this line will be ignored, and if you can run this, nothing will happen, because this is a comment, and this comment is very important in the SQL injection point of view. So I can say use students, or I can just double click on the students to make sure that this is the active database. So I double clicked on this and students became active. Again, if I double click on this word, it will become active. Now however, we will execute this statement use students. Don't worry if I use the statements, queries, or any other uh, uh, language, both are same, queries and statements are same. Okay, now my students database is inactive. It is always a good method to use the database you are performing. I mean, put this use database name in front of whatever before the any changes going to this students. This makes sure that we are actually performing the operations on the students database. So we do not have any tables now. This is a empty tables, empty database. We need to create the table. To do that, let's say create a table. Let's say a table. We need to put the table name. Let's say info, and we need to select the types of columns we need to add into this info table. So let me say open bracket, and in this open bracket we need to define the column values, I mean column data. Let's say ID. So every student have the ID, and the data type for this ID is integer. So I want to say first underscore name. So every student have the first name, and I can say varchar of 255. This is like ASCII, ANSI. You can see 256 ASCII plus extended ASCII values. You can put this as a first name. Right, this is the basic syntax of the varchar. I don't want to go in depth into these variables. I will just explain the basic variables. There are integers and varchars, and there are text in the sense a lot of lengthy characters. Okay, a student can have last name. Last name is also varchar sense variable character, and if you can say open brackets, you can see variable various options. You can say var 255, and we have the ID, first name, last name, and say lastly phone underscore number. Phone number is integer, right? Now I can successfully close this brackets and put the semicolon. Let me execute this query. If I refresh this, you can see there is a table created info. So we do not want this, because I'm going to delete this query. Now let's say select star from this info to see what are the values are there in the info table. Let me run this query. You can see there is no data, because we just created this table and the schema. This is called schema, and also there is another concept called ER diagrams, that is entity relationship diagrams. You can just map these students relations using these entity relationship diagrams in a diagrammatic way. That's why this database SQL is called Relational Database Management System, or DBMS, because we can connect these databases tables using these relationships. So we will see how we can connect using the joins in the end of this video, or within a few moments. So now if I select star from info, I have got no data, because we just created the table and we have no data. As you can see, there is a ID, first name, last name, and phone number, right? So we are going to insert some values into this. To do that, I want to say insert into I want to specify the table I want to insert. I want to insert into info table, and info table, and I can say brackets, and under what columns I need to insert. I want to insert ID or first name or last name or phone number. If I want to insert into all these columns, I can just simply say values of, and I should give in order the values of the first row. So I am going to enter the first row, that is ID number, let's say 1 comma, and first name say Nagasai, which is my name, and let's say last name is equals to Nikhil, and then let's say phone number 1 2 3 4 5, and put the semicolon at the end. So what this means is we are inserting into this info table, and the values are 1, this is goes into the ID, and this Nagasai goes into this first name, and this Nikhil goes into the last name, and 1 2 3 4 5 goes to the phone number. So if you want to insert into only first name and the last name, you need to say info of first name and the last name. If I say info of first name and last name, I need to specify only 2 values, and the 2 values will goes into this 2 respective columns, first name and the last name. So I don't want to do that. I want to insert these exact values into these exact columns, because there are 4 columns and the 4 values of the first row, and that's it. If you execute this, okay, I did not use the select statement to retrieve the data. Select star from info. So if I run this queries, as you can see, this insert has been neglected, and we got the first row 1 Nagasai Nikhil 1 2 3 4 5. So let's try to insert some more values, some more rows, I mean. Let me copy this. So let me try to insert the 4 rows 2 3 4. So let me add some of the students. So I don't have any friends. Let's say Acer laptop, Acer Strix, and let's say 100. And let's say third student name is Lenovo, and let's say last name for this Lenovo is Legion, and let's say the phone number of this region is 500. I'm just putting for fun purpose, and let's say Asus, and last name is, let's say, ROG, and let's say the value 123. 123 is the phone number of Asus. So we are going to insert 3 more rows, and let's see, and there you can go. There you can see the 4 rows have been inserted: first name, last name, and the phone numbers. So this is the basic of the MySQL commands. Let us see some more. So I have a comment of this commands. Now we need to see some of these filter options from the select statement. There is a condition called where, and this where can be used to filter the options selected by this select statement. I can say select all the results or the columns from the info where I can say ID is greater than 2. So I can say ID greater than 2. If I select this, if I execute this, now I will see the output only with the rows that are ID greater than 2. So we got the 3 4 IDs. So that's how you use the where to filter these IDs. So you can also put the greater than or is equals to get the 2 3 4 rows, and you can put the less than or equals to get the 1 2 rows, and you can also put the less than 2 to get the first row, and you can also put this greater than or greater than 3. This is like not is equals to, you can also put exclamation is equals to get this id not is equals to 3. So I get the rows with the IDs 1 2 4 and not 3. As you can see, 1 2 4 and not 3. So this is another form for the not equal to. Some of these databases support less than greater than, and some of these databases support not databases like this SQL. Maybe Oracle supports less than greater than, or MS SQL supports this. It's good practice to know these alternatives. So let me say ID. So I got this 1 2 3 IDs. So this is how you can use the where, and you can also filter with or and statements. You can say and let's say phone number less than 1000. So what this means is we are selecting all the columns from the info table where ID should be less than 3 and also phone number should be less than 1000. So if I execute this, I get the 100, this second and third row. This and can be used to union these conditions. So this is one condition and this is second condition. If only both conditions are true, then only this output will be displayed, or else it will get a blank output based on these statements we have given, based on the conditions we have given. Let me execute this. As you can see, 2 and 3 where ID is equals less than or equal to 3, and also phone number less than 1000. We got this 2, and you can also put the or, and so as you can see, ID is less than or equal to 3 or phone number less than 1000. So since this ID is equal to less than or 3, this fourth row has been failed. But why this has been displayed? Because the phone number of this ASS row has been 1 2 3 and it's less than 1000. So that's why we got this fourth row also. So that is how you use the or and the and. And you can use the another called distinct. So if I say select distinct, so there are no any repeated values of this. So just you can also filter the using the distinct. And okay, I have made the mistake. The Acer's gaming laptop's name is Predator. If I want to update this value, I can say update info table, set the last name is equals to where I want to change. I want to change the strict into the Predator, because the Acer gaming laptop's name is Predator, and I want to change the last name is equals to Predator. So if I run this command, this is very dangerous command, because if we did not give the condition, it will apply to all the rows. If I just execute this one, this Predator will be placed on the this nickel, strix, region and row. All these values will be replaced by Predator. That's why this is very dangerous command, and you only update this use these update statements very carefully, and also put where, and I want to say ID is equals to 2 or first name is equal to Acer. You can choose whatever you want. I want to choose the ID. If I run this, so it says that error code, you are using safe update mode and try to update a table without where. So this is like MySQL safe mode for updations. So updations, you need to, what you want to say is, you need to say set SQL safe updates is equals to 0. So if you run this, and now you can see, so after setting this variables SQL safe updates to 0, you can actually run this save update command as you wish. So my ASR strings has been replaced by predator, so that's why you can see, you can this is very important to keep where condition, and if you do not put that, all the last names will be replaced by predator. So let me close this. Alright, I think I have said almost the basics. Now let's move on to the joins. So I will, if you know set theory in mathematics, like A union B, A intersection B, and these joins will be very easy, so don't get confused. I will explain in a very clear manner. First let me display the results of the info table. We have the IDs of the students. Let me create a new database. So okay, let me create a new database. Create database, let's say marks. So why do we not create database? We can simply create another table, right? Let's say create table marks. So what we are going to do is, we should have this one column like equal in 2 or 3 tables, then we can join those 2 tables using this same column. So let me explain this. So create table marks, and I want to say ID by putting the int, and I want to say marks, and the marks also integer. So let me create this. As you can see, so there are 2 tables. Let me go and insert some values into this. Insert into marks values of, let me go and insert ID 1. Let's say got the marks 100 marks. So let me copy this insert statement and paste multiple times. So I want to create the second ID and say marks is equals to 300. Let's say third ID, marks is equals to 200. And now I'm going to put the ID which is not in the info table. That, let's say 8. Let's say 80 ID, and have the marks 900. So let me go and execute this. So you can see all the statements have been executed, and let me select star from marks. As you can see, there is ID is 1 2 3 80, and the marks 100 300 200 900. Let me also display the info. So these are the student names. Assume that these are all the students 1 2 3 4, and previously we have the marks, and observe only the IDs. We have 1 2 3 4 and the details of the students. If you execute the marks, so we have the IDs 1 2 3 80 and the marks. So what we want to do is, we can join these 2 tables using these marks. So I will show you how to do the join. So these are some types of joins. Those are called inner join. So inner joins in the sense, take the two tables and the only display the results which are common in those tables. So what are the common in these two tables? ID 1 2 3 are in this table, and also ID 1 2 3 are there in the info table. So only the display the results which have the common ID. So inner join is like A intersection B. Inner join is A intersection B. So I will show you what is A and what is B. So first I want to say select a star from info. Now I want to apply the inner join. I want to say inner join. I want to join the info table with marks table. And now I want to say on. So on what basis you are joining these two tables? On the ID basis I am joining these tables, because the ID column is same in this info and the marks. So I will say it's, so let's say, so you can access this table using the students.info and students.marks. So let's say students dot info dot id. You can access this individual column using the students database and info table, and the id column is equals to students dot and marks dot id. So I want to join this info and the marks on the basis of this IDs. Let me execute this. So I have some now I think I should okay, students. So there you go guys, I got this. What I have done is I want all the results from info, where I need to get only the results that are matched with these marks. So what are the results that are matched with marks? On what basis? ID basis. So I have only 3 IDs that are matched with this info table and the marks table. Those are 3 IDs, and you can see the 3 IDs and the first name, last name, and the phone number. And also I have joined the marks table here on the right of this, because this is the left table we have assumed left side, and this is the right side. You can see this is these 4, sorry, so these are the left info tables, and this right 2 columns are the marks information. You can see ID and the marks. So this is the inner join is the A intersection B. So this is the A and this is the B. So on intersection we got only the matched values. Those are 1 2 3. So this is the inner join. I hope you have understood. Now let's see the left join. So what this left join does is, it's like A only, A minus B in union A intersection B. So what it does is it will display all the info, all the columns from the info table, and also only the matching values from the marks. And if there are any values that does not match, it will put the null values. If I execute this, and as you can see, it displays all the columns from the info. Okay, there are all the columns on the info, and you can see there is a 4th row ASUS, but in this marks we do not have ID 4. we have the id 80. So in this case there is no id 4, that's why it has put the null values. So it displays all the value of a and only the matching value of b. That's why it's called inner left join. And if I say right join, so now you can guess the right join. It displays all the values rows of these marks and only the matched results of this info, and if there are any leftovers from the info table it will replace with null. So this is the left join. If you change it to right join, all you can see is these values will be filled with 80 and the marks, and these values with the null. If I execute this, okay, now if you can see this, all the rows of this marks table has been successfully got, and since there is no id 80 in the info table, we got the null values. So this is the right join, only b and also matched info results from the a. It's like b minus a intersection b minus a union a intersection b. So there is a called full outer join which will combine every values. If I execute this, okay, this is full outer join. Okay, I don't know why I'm getting this error. So full outer join. Okay, if I run this full outer join, I will get the 4 id and also id 80, but in case it will join the whole left join and the right join. So that's all about this SQL basics, guys. I hope you have understood. Even I suggest you to practice all these statements. You can also Google them and practice the basic SQL queries. And even though if you do not practice, just understand this video and it will be very much helpful for the SQL injection. You can do them manually. You can join these tables and you can also union these tables.